Okay, Camtasia says it's recording now. Again, welcome to the call. I want to thank you for coming tonight, taking time out of your evening to spend with me. I've got a pretty good lesson for you tonight on niche blogging. It was requested a few weeks ago that I do a lesson one night on niche blogging. So I've got that prepared for you guys tonight. But before I do that, I got a small announcement for you. I sent out the notice about getting the rights to sell the Social Post Lab this past weekend, and I inadvertently uploaded the wrong version to the download page. So if any of you are on the call tonight that purchased that, you need to go back to the download link again and re-download the plugin again because I uploaded the wrong version. Sorry about that. I'll also post a notice about this on the replay page for the people that come later. It was such a rushed thing to get that. It was only open for a few short hours for me to be able to get the deal that I got on it. And then the guy had really weird terms. I wasn't allowed to list it on JVZoo or ClickBank or Warriors Plus. I could only sell it through a straight PayPal sales, which I did set it up on the $7 secret script, so I could offer selling it by affiliate means through that. But the terms that I got with it was really weird, and it was rushed getting it. He didn't have the package ready when I bought it, and I had to wait a few hours to get it. But in all that mess, I wound up uploading the wrong version to the website. So if you bought that, go back to the download link and re-download it again. If you've already got it installed, I think you can just override it with the other one, but it might be best to uninstall the plugin and then reinstall it. You won't lose your settings, but it might be better to uninstall the plugin first and then reinstall it. But anyway, I want to tell you guys that that was my mistake for uploading the wrong one. Anyway, I'll post this notice again down under the replay for you guys to as a reminder. But anyway, with that said, let's go ahead and get started with tonight's lesson. Like I said, tonight's lesson is about niche blogging. Most of you have been here before on these calls, but for those that are new, there's nothing for sale here tonight. This is all an informational training session wherein I'll give a lesson or a demo usually at the very beginning, and then we'll ask questions about that if we have any questions on the training, and then I'll go over some questions I got in email, and then we'll take your guys' live questions there after that. So with that said, like I said, there's nothing for sale here tonight, so don't worry about me trying to pitch you anything. This is all for you guys. These meetings on Mondays are just for you guys to be able to ask me questions. Mike's saying, can you resend the link, or do I need to go back through PayPal? Mike, I'm not sure. Like I said, I wasn't able to sell that through any of the affiliate networks, so I might be able to resend you the link. I'll have to look and see. If you can't find the link, Mike, send me an email and I'll send you a link that'll work. Okay. But if you can find it yourself, it'd help me tremendously. Like I said, I wasn't, according to the rights, I wasn't allowed to sell it through any of the affiliate networks, so that kind of messed things up, being able to send out that sale to you guys. Okay, let's go ahead and get the presentation loaded up here. And we'll turn the chat back on. And if you guys have questions during the presentation, feel free to ask those as I'm going through it. But if you want to, you can hold off to the end. Okay. Like I said, tonight we're going to be talking about doing niche blogging and doing it in a safe way that you can, search engines will like your blog, and plus you'll gain readers. This is the rinse and repeat method for building a niche blog that, like I said, will get you ranked. Readers will love your blog and keep coming back for more. One of the mistakes people make is making blogs, that they put them up just to try to sell a product or try to get AdSense, and they're not really good blogs. They don't do well. Well, we're going to address that tonight, and I'm going to show you guys how you can put up a blog, that people will like and the search engines are going to like. Okay, first off, despite what people will tell you, search engines and people still love blogs because they're interactive and the content is always changing. That's the reason why search engines like blogs so much, because they know the content is dynamic and always changing. Blogs are interactive in that when you make a post or put up a page and you allow comments on the page, which most people don't allow comments on a page, but they do allow them on a post, people will reply back to those comments, and that picks up with the search engines, that it's an interactive blog, and they'll start ranking you higher because of that interactivity. And also, it's the fact that, most blogs have it set up to where you can share the posts, on some of the social networks, which they like to see that too. That shows the social triggers that they like to see. But the thing is, most niche bloggers fail for three main reasons. When people want to get into niche blogging, there's three things that most everybody does when they're first starting out. And they may not know that they're doing these things, that these things are going to hurt them, but these are the three things that most people fail with right off from the very beginning. The number one reason is impatience. People will start a niche blog and they expect to see immediate traffic to it. So they'll go out and they'll order like thousands of backlinks right off the bat from some service somewhere, or even over on Fiverr, they'll get like 5 or 10 gigs of backlinks going to their brand new blog. And that kind of thing raises red flags with the search engines, that all of a sudden a blog that's just a couple days old already has, 5,000 backlinks to it. Now, I'm not saying that couldn't happen. I mean, the argument against that is, the news sites, they put up a post and it immediately gets thousands of backlinks. But most of the time, the search engines recognize a news site as compared to a blog site, and they know the difference between the two. So when they see a brand new blog, it's all of a sudden getting all these thousands of backlinks. It doesn't look natural, and it flags them right off the bat. The second most popular thing that people do wrong is they use poor quality content. This happens for a lot of reasons. Maybe you've started a blog that you don't really know the subject that well, so you go out and you buy some content, or you buy one of these plugins or one of these programs that will go out and scrape content to post to your blog so that you don't have to write it yourself. That's one of the most common reasons for poor quality content. And then there's just poor quality content, that is maybe, spot on with what, the topic is, but maybe it's not very good grammar, or maybe the content doesn't read well, the sentence structure is not right, or it's just, too plain and boring, and people just don't want to read it. So the search engines may see the content as being, good enough content to rank, but then people don't like it because they go to it and they read it, and every blog post reads the exact same way. Kind of like reading a manual. I've seen a lot of blogs where every single post on it is just some sort of manual research type article, where it's kind of like you're reading a manual for a dishwasher or something that's not really interesting reading. Now, of course, if you're looking up, information on a dishwasher or a microwave or something like that, and you want that type of information, that's what you're interested in finding. But most of the time, people don't want to read blog posts, that each one of them are almost exactly the same. They're just the same dull, boring research type articles. And then the third thing that people do that really kills their blog is they try to push something for sale too quickly. I know you've all been to blogs where when you try to load them up, there's just ads on top of ads all over the thing. Every possible space they could put in a banner or an ad, they've got one. They've got all kinds of pop-ups and pop-ins and pop-unders and all these little flashy things. If you do that right off with a blog, it immediately sets off red flags with the search engines that you've set up a blog just for commercial purposes. And it's really, really hard to get one to rank after you've been classified as being a for-profit blog. Okay, so like I said, the first thing is impatience. Most bloggers will force ranking by getting tons of backlinks right out of the gate. They'll post dozens of blog posts in just a few days. Some people will order a packet of articles, or somewhere they'll get PLR packets, and they'll just post every single one of them all at once, trying to have a good stash of information for the search engines to index, which is the wrong thing to do. The search engines want to see gradual content going in a natural fashion, not just all of a sudden 100, 200 pages of content showing up on a blog. Then, of course, the second part of impatience, they're not consistent about that. They'll post all them articles and blog posts right at the very beginning and then never go back and post anything else ever again. Then we come to the poor quality content. Like I mentioned, a lot of people buy, pre-written PR articles that are often created just for keyword spamming. And a lot of times these articles, like I said, they're researched articles, where they may be fairly decent content as far as, what the article content is about itself, but every single article will read exactly the same. So, it's interesting to the human reader when they come to the blog. Now, so like I said, those type of articles will do well as far as the search engines, the research type articles. You can't do POR and expect to do well with it. If you just get it straight out of the box or the zip file or whatever you want to call it and just post it just as it is, that won't help you a bit. You'll get put into what they call the duplicate search results. You won't actually, that's a myth that people have, that you can't post duplicate content. You can post duplicate content, it's just that you'll fall under the duplicate results category and you won't be shown in any of the rankings, because the first few people will get that ranking, but then the 50 or 100 people after that will fall into that other category. And then the next thing is when it comes to quality and content, they'll use very little or no images or videos at all. And all search engines love to see images and they love to see videos on a blog. Then lastly, the final reason, like I said, is trying to push something for sale. Most bloggers will load tons of ads into the sidebars. They'll write reviews that are just hidden sales pitches. And they offer no real value to the post about the products that they're talking about on their blogs. I know you've all seen blogs where you search for a product, it just got released, and you see all these review and scam listings in the search engines, and you go to them and every one of them are just sales pitches. It's really, really hard to find a really honest review and when you're searching for a product, because there's just so many of them that get listed, they're just hidden sales pitches. Now, like I said, those get ranked. The first few that get in there get ranked for that, but the reader, when they go to read them, it's obvious to them. It's somebody recommending the product instead of just trying to give an honest review or really trying to expose something. If it would happen to be, a shady product, that may not be worth purchasing. It's obvious to the human reader, what kind of post it is, so they don't stick around long. I know myself, when I'm searching for something and I want to find either a review or somebody's real case study, it takes a long time to find them. In most cases, you usually wind up digging down into the third to fourth or fifth pages of the results before you finally find one where somebody has written a real review. So that's what you run into, and with people that want to start niche blogging, they want to just post up something quick, try to get ranked for it. And like I said, review and scam posts will get ranked, but you won't get very many readers to read them. They can tell right off the bat it's just a hidden sales pitch. So the question becomes, what does it really take to make a quality niche blog that will rank and readers will come back to for more? Is it backlinks, social signals, unique content, the optimization you do to the blog, or bookmarks? Well, the answer is it's all of that. The successful niche blog will have backlinks to social signals and unique content, and then the optimization will be done, and there will be, lots of bookmarks. If you got good quality content that reads good, there will be people sharing it. There will be people making bookmarks to it. And then, of course, like I said, that naturally falls into that you'll get backlinks from all of that. Now, when you're just starting out, it's hard to get all of that started. When you first, putting your first few pages on there, nobody knows about the blog. I mean, you can ping it and the search engines will know about it, but it still takes, quite a bit of time for the search engines to really notice that you're being interactive with it. And if you don't have real people coming to that blog, it's really hard to get some of that other stuff going. So Fiverr can help you a lot if you use it in the right way. But the thing about it is, it has to be done in moderation. You can't do it all at once. Like I said in the very beginning, a lot of people they'll post up, a dozen articles, and they'll go over to Fiverr and they'll order 10 or 15 bookmark and Twitter posts and Facebook likes and all that. They'll order just dozens of gigs like that right off the bat, and that doesn't help a bit as far as getting real readers to your page at all, because the search engines are going to see it and they're going to de-index your blog right off the bat from having way too many social signals and backlinks automatically right from a brand new blog. So what I've got for you tonight is a sensible plan for starting out. Like I said, it's not a foolproof plan. It works. I've used it for the last 3 years since they started all the Google animals, and it's worked well for me in all of the niches that I've used it with. But I will tell you right up front, it's not a fast plan. It does take some work, and it does take a lot of patience. Now, the ones that I've done this with, and I've really taken care with them, I'm building good lists from those niches now, and it's starting to pay off, but it's not something that happens immediately. Now, I'm not saying that it can't happen. You could happen to start a blog on a niche, that's really popular that not a lot of people are blogging about, and if you were to happen to luck upon what they would call a golden niche like that, well then you would see the results a lot faster. But with general niches, the health, wealth, relationship, and that type of thing, and making money, it takes a while to get all of that built up till you start seeing results from it if you do it the right way. So what I've got for you tonight is, I call it the 7-day rinse and repeat method. And this is the exact method that I follow with every niche that I go into when I start a new niche. And how it starts out is with day number 1, you got to write and post your common blog pages. Now, those of you that were in my training classes for the last Success with Rick training class, some of this will be familiar to you. But what you want to do on that very first day is put up the common pages that you have to have on every blog, depending on if you're going to be doing AdSense, or if you're going to be doing affiliate product marketing, or if you're going to be selling products of your own. You got to have these pages on there. So you need to have an about page and a contact page, and with the contact page there's plugins that you can use to create those. The one I like to use is called Contact 7. It's a plugin that you can get for free. Just do a search for Contact 7 inside WordPress. In the plugin section you'll find it. It's usually the very first one. Then you got to have a terms and conditions page, and then a disclaimer page. And you got to have all of these pages no matter what the niche is, because no matter what the niche is, you got to have the legal pages that saves you from the legalities of whatever you might have on your blog. Is you don't want people to think that you're an authority and you're a doctor, or you want to be able to have yourself covered as far as the legal avenues go. So you got to have all of these pages. And of course, the about page is probably the most important page that you're going to have on your blog, and most people skip over this one. The about page is where you would actually list something about yourself or your company, and why you're involved in that niche, and why you have put up a website about it. A lot of people will gloss over that and just will put just maybe some contact information about where they're at and that type of thing. But you really need to try to flesh out that about page so people can get a feel for actually who's running the website, so that they can start building some trust in what you post there. And then on day 2, you want to write your first initial blog post, and you want to ping that blog post. And then, like I said, we can go to Fiverr at this point and order an Alexa traffic gig. Now, an Alexa traffic gig is different from one of these gigs where you can get where they'll just send traffic. What an Alexa traffic gig is they will send traffic to your blog through expired domains that Alexa will see as traffic going to your blog, and they'll start getting demographics from people that go to your blog. Now, those work really well as far as getting your Alexa ranking started, and that's the first social signal that you want to have is an Alexa ranking. Once you order this gig over on Fiverr, they usually last for a month. It'll be a good starter set of traffic for to get that social signal set up with Alexa, so that the search engines will see what your blog is about and the type of traffic it's coming to it, and then they'll start gathering data from that and start classifying you in the right avenues as the keywords that you're going for. On day 3, it's the same thing, just write a blog post and ping the post. Now, I'll provide links to a lot of these places that you can use. I have one good vendor over on Fiverr that I use for the Alexa traffic. I've got another that I use for ping. Of course, now you can ping yourself. There's a couple of websites still left open to the public where you can do pings. Most of them have closed down now. They got spammed so much and abused so much that they had to close down and only offer paid accounts now. But there's still a couple left open that the public can still use. Kathy's asking, how do you ping a post? There's websites that you can go to, Kathy, where you can put in the URL and they'll send out pings to all of the blog directories that there's been a new post on a blog. But like I said, most of the public ones that were available to us even a year ago are all gone now because they got abused so much. And most of the good ones that are still left, you have to have a paid membership with them to get that service now. And of course, over on Fiverr, you can order those gigs. There's people that have those memberships that will submit the pings for you. If you don't want to do it yourself. But there's still 2 or 3 of them left that you can do that with yourself. And like I said, I'll post links to all this stuff down under the replay for you guys. Okay, on day 4, you're going to write another blog post, and then you're going to ping that blog post, and then you're going to order a bookmark gig. Now, this bookmark gig that you're going to order is not going to be one of those where they're going to give you 10,000 backlinks. You don't want one of those type of gigs. You want an ordinary backlink gig where they will create backlinks on 40, 50, 60 different high page rank bookmarking sites. Those bookmarking gigs where you see over there where they sell 5 or 10,000 bookmark backlinks, those aren't worth having. They're mostly directory sites, and those won't help you at all. You really want to get the bookmarks from the good bookmark sharing sites, and there's gigs over on Fiverr where you can order those. Now, like I said, they're usually small, anywhere from 40 to 60 bookmarks is all you get out of it. Some of them are even just 20, but those are the high quality ones that you want. Roy's asking, are pings still as powerful as they were 3 years ago? Yes and no, Roy. That's the reason why so many of them closed down, because they got spammed. They still work as far as setting off the signals. A new blog post has been posted, but the search engines don't pay as much attention to the pings anymore as they used to, except from some of the good quality ping providers. And like I said, most of those have a paid membership now, so they know that it's diluted it down through their good quality pings now, but people have to pay for them now. All of the free ones that used to be out there, they're just about all gone now. You can't hardly find a good free one at all anymore, but there's still a couple left that you can use. On day 5, you want to take one of the previous blog posts that you've done, doesn't matter which one, it's one of the 3 that you've posted by now, and turn it into a video. There's lots of software out now that you can take an article and turn it into a video. I have several programs that will do that. If you guys are in my Inner Circle membership, you've got access to all kinds of stuff that will do that. But there are several different ways of converting an article to a video, and I've got a link to a video where a friend of mine created that shows how to turn an article into a PowerPoint and then take that PowerPoint and turn it into a video. I'll post a replay to that. But once you've created that video, you want to post it to YouTube for one, and then depending on the type of article it is, what it's about, you probably want to try to post it on Vimeo and Dailymotion and a couple of the others. Some of them are really restrictive on what kind of videos you can post, but it depends on the content, what it's about. You want to try to get, as many of the video sharing sites as you can to list it on, and I'll provide a list of those as well that you can try. Vimeo is getting really particular about commercial posts. If it's like a review on a product or something, they know you're trying to sell the product, so a lot of times they'll delete those. But YouTube will accept just about anything, so YouTube you can always use. But once you've got that video posted, especially on YouTube, you want to get the embed code and go back and create a new blog post and post that embed code. And you could repeat the same article down below the video post if you wanted to. You might want to rewrite it somewhat, change it a little bit, but you could repost the same blog post down under the video post as well. Kay's asking, can you share an outline of what it is we're supposed to ask or list when we apply for these pings, links, and bookmarks? Hope that makes sense. Yeah, I'll give you that info. Most of the time they're just wanting to know the URLs, what they're most of the time asking for. Occasionally, especially like the bookmark gigs and the backlink gigs, they'll want to know if you want to try to backlink to a keyword phrase. But most of the time with the pings and the video submissions, that type of thing, they just want the URLs, all they want. And especially with Alexa traffic, that's all they want is just a URL. Okay, then on day 6, you want to take all your previous blog posts, which you should have just 3 at this point. 4 if you want to count the one where you did the video, but 3, you should have 3 by now. You want to take all 3 of those and put them into a Word document and then save that Word document as a PDF. And then order a PDF distribution gig over on Fiverr. Or you can do this yourself. There's like 15 different PDF doc sharing sites that you can still use for free. You can go through there and submit those yourself if you don't want to pay the $5 to get somebody to do it for you. But personally, myself, it's worth $5 not to have to go through all that hassle. But you want to take all 3 of those and put them into one Word document, and then export that to a PDF and submit that. And of course, you want to have a link inside that PDF that goes back to your blog, of course, because that counts as a backlink. Kay's asking, would the URL be to our website or our product? Either way, initially, Kay, what we're talking about is getting a blog ranking, so it's just to your main blog at this point. Later, as you've developed this blog and got it going, you may want to do these same things, except pointing to a specific product page or a post about a product. So how many blog posts to turn into a PDF? Jen is asking. At this point, we just have 3 posts. So you want to take all 3 of those posts and put them into one Word doc file and then export that to a PDF. And you can do that with OpenOffice too as well if you don't have Microsoft Word. But most everybody has Microsoft Word these days. But at this point, you just have 3 blog posts that you're working with. Okay, and then on day 7, you want to start sharing these blog posts out to Facebook, Google Plus, and Twitter. And of course, you can do this yourself. You have 4 blog posts at this point. You can share them yourself, which I encourage you to do that. Share them on your own accounts with Facebook and Google Plus and Twitter. But you can also go to Fiverr and order gigs to do the same thing as well. And again, when you order these gigs over on Fiverr, don't go for the mass quantity. Go for the ones that they've got a lot of good reviews. That they're not going to just spam out to lots and lots of accounts. You want to try to get real accounts that people are using. You can tell from the comments people are leaving on their gigs whether it's a real account that they're posting to and not just some fake account they set up and they're just using some sort of a bot to get everything spammed out to all them fake accounts. Okay, so that's the first 7 days and what you would do. And at this point, what you've done, you've initially started your blog. You've got the the first set of 5 pages that you need to have on every blog. Of course, you only have to do that once. But then you've got 4 blog posts. 3 of them are actual posts, and one's an actual video post that you turned one of your blog posts into a video. So at this point in the first week, you've got 3 real posts, and you've got a video post of one of your original blog posts. So if we take that beyond day 7, what you need to do is rinse and repeat days 3 through 7 every week for at least the first month. So in other words, for the first month, you want to try to get 3 to 4 posts into your blog every week for the first 3 to 4 weeks. And of course, using that same set of steps, each time you post, do a ping, do another post, do a ping. Then once you've got 3 of them, order a bookmark gig to 1 or 2 of the articles or blog posts that you've done, and then, like I said, create another PDF from each 3 and do another PDF submission. And then you can optionally, and this is, it's highly recommended, order a press release gig over on Fiverr. Now, this will generally come in 2 parts. Doing a press release, you'll generally have to get somebody to write the press release for you first, and then second, submit it for you. Now, sometimes you can find the same person that will do both, but that's usually, they'll usually have an upsell to their gig to do that. They'll offer to, they'll have the initial gig to write the press release for you, then they'll have, for an additional $5, they'll submit it for you. Those are, it's optional to do that, but those really help a lot in getting traffic. And here's the thing, guys, a lot of people don't realize that you can have a press release on anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Just announcing a new website is you can have a press release about that. Posting about a review about a book, you can have a press release about that. Posting a new video on your blog, you can have a press release about that. Now, of course, when people hear the word press release, they're thinking it's something that's going to be picked up and put in the newspapers or the magazines, but that's not always the case. You have thousands of little news websites that want to pick up on new articles and books and reviews to post to their news websites. So you wind up getting backlinks from those, just from those little small news websites that are looking for news content to put on their websites. So even though it scares people into thinking, well, I don't have anything it's worth doing a press release on, you can do a press release, like I said, on just about anything. Just starting a new website is a press release in itself. Posting a good review or a good video about some method or some new book or new product, that's another press release. Of course, they have to be written in a specific way. They're not the same as a regular article or a blog post. But like I said, there's people over on Fiverr that will write one for you for $5. And like I said, in a lot of cases, they'll offer the upsell to submit it for you as well. And of course, if you can afford it, it's a little more expensive, but it's a lot more effective is to go to some of the paid press release sites and have them do it for you. But it does cost more to do it that way. They're usually about anywhere from $35 to $49 is what I've seen for most of those, to submit a press release that goes out to all of the news sites. And not that that's particularly worth it. I think the $5 ones over on Fiverr do just as well. So from best bang for your buck, I would go ahead and order one on Fiverr before I'd pay $35 for one to be sent out. If I were to do one of the more expensive ones, it would be mostly on the initial announcement of the website being launched. I might consider one on that. Or if I were to create a product that I wanted to post over on the blog about it, I might do a paid press release, one of the paid ones for that. But the general, just when you've posted a new post, just to get some circulation out there and backlinks back to your website, the general Fiverr gigs are great for that. Jen's asking, when do you offer a product? We're going to get to that here in just a minute. Don's asking, is there going to be a recorded version of this webinar? Yeah, Don, we're recording it right now, so hopefully if nothing happens, the recording will be available. Bruno says, do you have a list of outsourcers that you trust and can share? Yeah, Bruno, I have several that I've used, and like I said in the beginning, I'll post the links to those Fiverr gigs that I use. Sometimes they get swamped and it's really back ordered, but Most of the time, like I said, when you're going to Fiverr, if you look at the comments people will leave, you can tell whether you're ordering a good gig or not by the comments people leave. Because, you know, granted, a lot of people are just like over on the Warrior Forum. They get all giddy because they bought a product for $7 and they post anything about it. But if you really read those comments, you can really get the scoop on how well somebody done. Because there's going to be people that are going to post real reviews about the service they got from that Fiverr vendor. But I do have a list of the people that I use, and I'll post the links to those down under the replay for you guys. Here's some additional tips I wanted to give you just before we close this out. Each one of your blog posts, they should be at least 150 words. Less than 150 words, you know, it doesn't really help you that much as far as getting ranked. It's really kind of small in content. It doesn't take that much to write 150 words. You can write 150 words in 2 or 3 minutes. It doesn't take long at all. You want to, if you're going to write these blog posts yourself, write them like you would talk yourself, like you're talking about the product or the niche or whatever it is the subject matter might be of that article or blog post. If you're going to order articles from one of the article writing sites, be sure you order conversational type articles. You can do some researched articles, and like I said, those are great. The search engines love the researched articles, but the human readers don't particularly care for them. They will, they like them as far as getting steps to do something or information about something, but they don't want to see a blog it's every bit 100% research type articles. They want to see some conversational type articles and blog posts in there. And if it's a niche that you're really involved in yourself and you like it, it should be easy for you to write 150, 200 words 2 or 3 times a week about it. The next thing that really helps a lot, and this may be a little harder to do, and a lot of times you have to ask for permission, is if you can get real live case studies from people that have experience with whatever the niche is or the product is that you're talking about. Now, like I said, a lot of times with this you have to get permission, because a lot of times a person may have their own blog where they're posting their own experiences, but they don't want you copying their stuff over onto your blog, so you may have to ask for permission for that. And what I have done in cases like that, when I find content like that I want to reuse, I'll contact the blog owner or the website owner, or it might even be a forum, and just tell them I would like to link back to their post about their case study. And I won't quote the whole case study, I'll just quote maybe the first paragraph of it and then provide a link back to the original post. Now that counts as a good quality backlink to the other website, and the search engines like to see you linking back to other sites as well instead of just people linking to you. So good case studies like that, if you can find them, those are really great. Just like I said, most of the time you have to ask permission before you can use those. Just don't go blindly copying those over to your blog without asking for permission. It may be you never hear anything about it, they never say anything to you, but then you're going to have the rare occasion where a blog owner is really particular and watches what happens with his blog in the search engines, and he'll pick up that you've posted some of his content and didn't ask for permission. He'll ask you to remove it. Most of the time that's what they'll do, they'll just ask you to remove it. They won't threaten any kind of legalities or anything, but they'll just ask you to remove it. But if you just go the first step and just ask them, most of the time they're ecstatic about somebody willing to share their content. And like I said, don't quote the whole thing. You might add a paragraph up above it telling about you found this great case study about this and you really liked it and you wanted to share it, a little blurb paragraph of your own, then quote, a paragraph or 2 at the most of their case study, and then provide a link back to the original one. And then of course you want to limit the use of pop-ins and pop-overs. That's not so much for the search engines, but that's for your real human readers. It's really annoying. They don't mind dealing most of the time with one. I know you've went to blogs where you're there just a few seconds and it comes up with an opt-in form or whatever, in the light box asking you to opt in to their subscribing to their blog or their newsletter. People will, they don't mind that happening once, but they don't want it happening every single page they go to. Now, a lot of niche blog owners, they turn that on for every single page you go to, it's going to pull up that pop in or pop over again, and that really annoys people, and they won't come back if that keeps happening. Like I said, they don't mind it for once for a session, or in the good plugins that will do this, it can automatically detect that somebody's already subscribed to your newsletter or your blog, and it won't ever show it to them again. So the good premium ones will do that. Kay's asking, do you suggest getting AdSense? If so, at what point in time would you do this, and how many would you put on your blog? Personally, I mean, this is my personal experience with AdSense. I wouldn't count on it as a monetization method, and the reason being, Google, and this is just my opinion and what's happened to me. I had a niche blog that ran for 8 years, and it was running AdSense and CPA offers, and Google just all of a sudden out of the blue, once I started getting $300 to $500 a month in AdSense revenue, they decided they didn't like that because I had CPA ads on there with the AdSense, they terminated my AdSense account. Now, a lot of niche bloggers, these products you get to talk about niche blogging, will tell you to go for the high dollar keywords and put AdSense on your blog so that you get those high dollar clicks, and you get, clicks that, they're going to pay, 50 cents or $1 each for ones you get. Google can detect real quick that you're doing that, and they will ban your account within weeks of seeing it. But if you do want to put AdSense on your blog, like I said, it's just been my personal experience, and I won't ever put AdSense on any of my blogs ever again. But if you do want to put AdSense on your blog, wait until after near the end of the first month before you do it. Give Google time to index your blog and see that it's a real blog, that it's not something you put up just for AdSense, because that's the email they'll send you. They'll send you emails saying that we have detected you've set up a blog just for AdSense. So we are de-indexing your blog and banning your AdSense account. That's the exact email they'll send you. And of course, here's some more tips that I have for you just before we close this out. Use some of the likes and comment sites if you aren't getting enough natural likes and comments. Again, these are, I'm talking about Fiverr gigs. Be really, really careful with these. And there are some sites out there where you can actually trade likes. You go like somebody else's blog and they'll like yours back. It's like a trade thing type for that. Use those very sparingly if you have to, if you're not seeing enough interaction after the first month. But if you do have to use it, like I said, they work really well, but don't order thousands of them anywhere. Just do them, naturally, 5 or 10 a week. It's easy, to share out 5 or 10 a week with one of those sites. You can, I think they usually work off credits. You do a like and they give you a credit, and then you use that credit to get somebody else to do a like for yours or a comment for yours. But like I said, use those sparingly if you have to use them. If you haven't gotten very much interaction, with sharing your post over on Facebook and Google Plus and Twitter after that first month, you may want to consider doing some of this just to get the social signals. And again, we went over this just a second ago. Wait until the end of the first month before you start trying to monetize your blog. And this is mostly from the search engine standpoint of them not seeing that you're putting up a commercial blog that's made for just CPA offers or AdSense, if the case might be AdSense. And of course, your real human readers, when they come to your blog, for not plastered with ads all over the place, they know it's a quality blog that they may want to bookmark and come back to and subscribe to your RSS feed. Which is another thing I should have put in this list, is you need to make sure that the subscribe to your RSS feed is really prominent, that people can click it, because a lot of people use RSS readers. Those are really popular on the smartphones now, to have RSS feeds that people read. And then of course the best thing you can do is to create an autoresponder series and put your opt-in form on the top right hand sidebar at the very top. If not at the very top, right under the search, because a lot of times in most blog themes they'll have the search at the top right on the sidebar, but just under that if yours is designed that way. That's the best way you can monetize your blog, is to be building a list with it. once you get people coming to your blog and they subscribe to your mailing list, once they're on your mailing list, you can send them an email every time you make a new blog post to get them to go look at the blog post. And of course, you can market to them through the emails as well. Faye's asking, when you say blog, are you referring to setting up a website with a domain or a free type such site as Hub Pages? Hub Pages and Squidoo and places like that, and there's a couple of other ones, they're sort of like blogs in a way, but they're not. Now, what I'm talking about is your own personal. It could be either even a one of the blogger blogs, if you don't want to set up a WordPress site. But now I'm talking about your own blog where you maintain it yourself. You have actual control to be able to do something with it. As far as now, of course, with Blogger you can install plugins, but with a WordPress blog that you have on your own domain, you can install whatever plugins you're wanting to use. Now, a WordPress.com blog is a WordPress blog, but you don't have control over it, so you can't install plugins. So even though that qualifies as a blog, it's still not one that you can maintain yourself. Roy says owning your own domain name is owning your own piece of cyber real estate. Exactly, Roy, and you need to have as much of it as you can get. As cheap as it is to get domain names and web hosting, there's no reason why anybody shouldn't have 15, 20, or 30 of them. Dana's asking how do you make the RSS feed prominent? It's usually in the WordPress admin dashboard. When you go over to the appearance and then the widgets, you can drag the RSS feed link up to the top over on the right sidebar. You can drag that up towards the top. I would suggest you have it right, if you're going to put an opt-in form, right under your opt-in form or maybe above the opt-in form, one of the two. Some people will subscribe to your RSS feed instead of opting into your mailing list, and then some people will want to do both. But you definitely want to get it as close to the top on the right-hand sidebar as you can, and like I said, you do that from the widgets area inside your WordPress admin area. Faye's asking, do you have a favorite theme? Yeah, I do. I use Graphene for most of my themes. I use Graphene for just about all of them. Now, there's a couple of different themes that I use that are themes that I've bought years ago that I still use, but as far as the free ones go, I've been playing around with the latest WordPress one, the 2014, and I like it pretty well. There's actually some software you can get where you can create customized child theme versions of it, and I've been playing with some of that. But the general one I like to use is Graphene. And of course, the best tip I can give you is to be consistent. After the first month, don't quit posting, and post at least once or twice a week, and remember to ping after each post. This is where a lot of people will quit after that first month. They'll post their content and they'll never go back and post anything else again. Well, your blog will get indexed and be found in the search engines. If you follow all these steps, it'll start ranking good for you, and you'll start getting real human readers coming over to your blog. But if you can quit posting, well, then they won't come back. So it doesn't take much, for you to post once or twice a week to a blog that you're really interested in. Now, if it's a blog that's not doing anything for you, not seeing any results from it, after that first month, you may just want to leave it alone and just let it do what it'll do. I've had several that I've had to do that just didn't work out. But ones that are going to work out for you and you're seeing some good results from it, you're building a list from it, you're getting affiliate commissions from it, you definitely want to, on some sort of consistent basis of once or twice a week, going and posting some sort of a new blog post, or even if you have to go to one of the article writing sites and get the articles written for you, it's well worth it to do that. You're only looking at a few bucks a month to get some articles written for you. Kay's asking, can you clarify for me what follow and no follow means, and which one should you use? Follow means that when the search engines index your site, that they'll follow that link to wherever you're linking to and index that as well. And then no follow tells our search engines not to follow that link. Now, there's 6 of one, half a dozen of another of which one is the best one to use. Some people say Follow links are still great and you should be using them. Then some people say that no follow links work better, and that you'll keep your index and ranking better by using no follow links. Most WordPress blogs now are set up to give you no follow links. So it's by default they're going to give you no follow links. You actually have to go in with a plugin to enable the do follow links. Is what they call them. They still count as backlinks no matter if some other blog links to you somewhere and it's a no follow link. It still counts as a backlink to your blog. So it still works as well as far as the backlink status goes, but like I said, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another. You have people argue both sides of the fence which one's best to use, but most blogs are set up now to do the no follow links. Deb says, what do you think about GoDaddy versus Namecheap? Need to get more domains. I try not to use GoDaddy if I can, and the reason I don't like GoDaddy, and this is my personal experience with them. If you have a domain that's up for renewal, GoDaddy will give you one notice on it. After 7 days, they'll hold that domain hostage, and they'll start adding to the price of it to get it renewed. And if in the case like what happened to me, I had a domain that expired. I was on vacation when it happened. I didn't get the notice till after it had been expired for 2 weeks. Well, they wanted double the price to renew it then, and I don't remember, something happened and I forgot about it. I was going to go ahead and do it and I forgot about it, but then it was like 30 days and they put the thing up for auction and wanted $350 to renew it at that point. Namecheap doesn't do that to you. They will expire it and you've got 30 days after it expires of Namecheap to renew it. Now they do charge an activation fee, Namecheap does, but it's only like 20 bucks or something if you let it expire and have to reactivate it. Nothing like GoDaddy charges. So GoDaddy is great. They run those sales. You can get those domains for like 99 cents sometimes, but if you do that, it's the first opportunity you get to transfer it away from them, get it away from them, because like I said, they will steal your domains. Kim saying GoDaddy also charges for every spam complaint if a website owner cannot prove that they did not spam. Exactly, yeah. That's the other bad thing about domains listed with GoDaddy. If there are any spam complaints made at all, you run the risk of getting the website, the domain, frozen and suspended to where you'll lose every bit of your traffic instantly. And like she said, they will charge you. I know one guy that got an email from GoDaddy and they wanted, gosh, I can't remember, it was like $1,500 is what they were going to fine him for spam complaints that he had gotten. So to me that's just unreal. I'm not saying that, maybe he did do something that caused spam complaints, but somebody to charge $1,500 just to keep it from being suspended, to me, in my book, that's dirty. But, a lot of people swear by GoDaddy. They'll go over and buy those 99-cent domains and not think anything about it. Kathy says, I recently had to renew an expired domain at Namecheap, and there was no extra fee. Yeah, if you catch it within just a few days, there is no activation fee. But if you let one go 30 days, there is a reactivation fee. I've had that happen to me twice at Namecheap where I forgot to renew one. But it's after 30 days that they charge that. During that first 30 days, they don't charge anything. But after that first 30 days, you've got an additional 30 days where they turn it loose to I guess some of these people that do domain auctions pick it up after 60 days. But you actually got 60 days with Namecheap to reactivate a domain, but after that first 30 days, they will charge you an activation fee. Mike says, had a hard time just getting a transfer from GoDaddy. Yeah, I've run into that too. They lock the domains right off the bat. And in fact, I've got a domain now with another registrar that I've had it for years, and I'm having a hard time getting it transferred as well because of that locking. Kim says, I am with GoDaddy, but will not be forever. Would not use if I had a site where I had an affiliate program. Yeah, like I said, Kim, GoDaddy is really particular, and especially if you are marketing from the domain that you have, it is awful easy to get spam complaints, especially if you're got your own products and you're doing letting people be affiliates for you. You never know what those people are going to be doing with your domain name. They could cause all kinds of spam complaints. And I think that's actually what happened to my friend. He launched a product and he had it set up as an affiliate program, and I think that's what caused all his spam complaints. But like I said, GoDaddy wanted, I know it was $1,500. It might have been more than that, but they were going to charge him $1,500 to not suspend his domain. Yeah, it sounds like they did. Okay, do you guys have any more questions on the training we just went through? I've got, I think, like 3 or 4 questions that came in through email. If you want, let's go ahead and do those now, and then when we get done with those, if y'all got some questions about the training, or like I said, your own questions about anything else after that. But let's go ahead and do the questions I got in email before I forget them. I want to make sure I got those since it's been 2 weeks since we done one of these webinars now. The first question I got was, how much budget should we have for paid advertising just starting out? And that really depends on the niche that you're in and what it is you're trying to promote, how much budget you should have. A good rule of thumb I would tell anybody is to start out with $100, a lot of $100 towards advertising. After you start seeing yourself make some sales or affiliate commissions, um, try to get in the habit of putting back 25 to 50% of your commissions back towards paid advertising. That way you can, you may have to take the money out of your own pocket at first, for your first bit of paid advertising. But if you once you start making sales, put back 25 to 50% of it towards more paid advertising, and it'll pay for itself in the long run. But as far as how much you should start out with, just really, like I said, it depends on the niche that you're in. Some paid advertising costs more for some niches. And then again, like I said, whatever product it is, depending on what type of avenues you're wanting to do paid advertising into as well, how much you should allot for it. The next question says, is Facebook really as good for marketing as they say it is? And yes and no. Depends on how you're using Facebook for marketing and what you're marketing and then who you're marketing to. Facebook is really great for targeting specific people that might be interested in whatever it is you're trying to market. And Facebook is great in as far as the pay-per-click. It's pay-per-click with Facebook is where AdWords was 5, 6, 7 years ago, whatever it was, back in the heyday when you could do pay-per-click with AdWords. Um, Facebook is good in that respect. Uh, Marketing in the groups on Facebook is a good, cheap way to advertise over on Facebook. It does take, participation on your own part to be able to do that. But it all comes down to, whatever it is you're trying to market and how you're trying to target it. And Facebook is great for targeting. They've really got it honed down now to where you can really find a good target audience over there now. The next question is, what about these lead scraper softwares I see for sale? Isn't that illegal? Yes and no. Lead scrapers are illegal in some ways, in that some websites don't want you scraping their websites to find email addresses or their content, either one. And if they find out that you're doing it, they'll send you a cease and desist letter. And they are illegal in the fact that email addresses you get from that, you don't have permission to email them, even though there are people that say they have these no spam solutions. And usually, guys, what those no spam solutions are is going to one of the social network sites and importing those scraped emails in as contacts or friends, wherein they send them, a request to be a friend or a contact. Even though that kind of skirts the issue of being spam, it's still, you didn't have permission to do that with those people. So if you definitely set those email addresses up in some sort of an email program and to start sending them emails, that's definitely illegal. You can get caught from that, and you can be fined for each email you send out, so don't do that. And like I said, those no spam solutions where they tell you to import them into a social network as contacts or friends, that's kind of a gray area, and you could get in trouble with that as well, especially if you did multiple thousands of them. And then the last question I got is, have you tried selling on Amazon? And that's kind of a general question. I have done several things with Amazon. I've got a couple of products listed over in CreateSpace that do okay, I guess. They did better first when I first put them in there. And of course, Amazon's got some more promotional programs with CreateSpace that I haven't tried yet. I've got 2, maybe 3 ebooks listed over in the Kindle space, and they do okay. I wouldn't say they're a major source of income. I get $25, $50 every 2 or 3 months from them, so they're not really popular, but it is extra money. I haven't tried the FBA, the Fulfillment by Amazon, yet. I've been reading a lot about that, and I've been looking into it. There's been some high dollar courses come out lately about Fulfillment by Amazon, but I haven't tried it yet. I'd like to try it in the doing either DVDs or videos or something like that, if I could find a good source for getting them that you could turn a profit with them. But that's getting harder and harder to do these days. There used to be websites you go to that actually give you real wholesale prices on DVDs, but those are really hard to find now. But that is, as far as Amazon, that's what I've tried so far. I've got a couple of CreateSpace books, got a couple of books over in Kindle Space. Oh, and I do have a couple of apps over in their Android market. And those are doing okay. Those apps are. I'm getting probably about $25, $50 a month from those apps, and I don't have that many of them, 2 or 3, I think. So that's about my extent with Amazon. Now, as far as the affiliate marketing, I do some of that, and the state I'm in still allows me to get Amazon affiliate commissions. So I don't do a whole lot of that. I do on some of the niche blogs that I have. I'll recommend either books or products from Amazon. But that's about my extent with Amazon. It's not a major source of income for me, but it does bring in some extra money. And I don't rely on it. It's just extra money is the way I feel, because it's not something I push very hard. Okay, that's the questions we got in email from the last webinar that we didn't get to have. So we'll go on for your guys' questions now. Scroll back, see if I missed anything. Mike saying he had to make up for shit. Okay. Equilibrium Psycho says, how many products can we promote in our niche blog per month? Well, it really depends on the niche that you're in, how many products you want to promote. If you're in the internet marketing niche and you're doing resale rights, I would suggest putting at least 1 or 2 products a week on there. If you're in like health and fitness, that type of thing, you might just want to put 1 or 2 products a month on there. If you're in self-help, it just depends on the niche you're in, how many products you want to put on there in a month's time. Generally, you're going to find with the non-make money niches, you don't put as many products on there as you would in the internet marketing type niche. And the reason is internet marketing, the products generally have a really short lifespan. People lose interest really quick and move on to something else. That's why you want to keep a good flow of products going through a blog like that. Whereas with health and weight loss, people generally they'll get a diet program and they'll actually try it for weeks at a time before they'll try something else. And maybe maybe you could, get by with, 3 or 4 a month, but generally just 1 or 2 a month's all I would push on, a non-IM niche blog. You're welcome, Mike. Like I said, I'll have a replay for you guys so you can go back over this later. Kathy says, are we still able to buy a Social Post Lab? If so, for how much longer? Yeah, Kathy, I'm not going to take it off for sale. I do have to cancel the introductory price that it's at right now. Again, that product came with some really weird rights. For the first 7 days, I was allowed to sell it at a discount. Then after that 7 days, I've got to raise it up to a minimum price. But yeah, it's going to be for sale. I'm not taking it off for sale. It's just that this first 7 days, I can sell it at a discount. Okay, do you guys have any other questions you want to ask besides about the presentation? We're running a little bit over an hour here, and I don't want to keep you guys too long, so if you have any questions, now's the time to ask. Like I said, I try to do these every week, and I can't guarantee you for sure I'll do one next Monday, but as far as I know right now, I'll be doing one again next Monday. Mike says, wish I could afford your list building. Any payment options available? Mike, there will be after we've got the first 4 lessons. I told the people that are in the class now that I want to get the first 4 lessons done, and then we're going to reopen it to the public with probably some sort of a payment plan. Let's see, do you think embedding a lot of videos in our niche blog is better or less videos from YouTube? I don't mean videos we've not created. Video niche blogs do really well as long as you add some content and they're not just videos. There's a lot of people put up just blogs, that's all they are videos, and there's not much for a search engine to rank on something like that. As long as you add content down below the video, explaining a little bit about the video, that they do really well. I recommend in every blog post that you do that you either have an image or a video in that blog post. And the reason being is that, especially with an image, you can put your keywords into the alt tags on an image, and a lot of times with the image you can actually link out in the image to another website. So I recommend that on every blog post you put at least an image, but doing a blog, as long as you want to put some comment in with the videos as well, that those will do just as well as a regular blog. Deb says, dying to ask about Softalicious script and cPanel, but I know I should ask my host first. So the web host you have uses Softalicious instead of Fantastico. I have one of my web hosting accounts that uses Softalicious too. It's kind of a different animal from Fantastico. It sends you those notices that something's been updated. I kind of like that. For installing WordPress on sites, yes. Like I said, I've got a web hosting account that uses Softalicious. It says WordPress blog has become very technical. Well, sort of. It's installing through Softalicious. It does ask a couple questions that Fantastico doesn't ask. But I think, from what I remember, that you can just take the defaults with it, because the main thing you're wanting to do is just get it installed, and then once it's installed, you can go into WordPress and change just about anything. So it is a little different, but it's still, I would say it's just about as easy as with Fantastico, other than those couple of extra questions they do ask. Okay, it says now an alt tag. Is that just the words below a picture that explains the picture? That's the caption, Kay, is what you're asking about. No, the alt tags is when you're inserting the picture into the blog post. It'll give you the option to putting some words in to describe the picture, and that's what they use for the alt tags. Now the caption is what you see down under the picture, where it has like a title or a description. But when you're posting it, it'll actually, in the post, before you link it in, it'll ask you if you want to put some sort of a description, and it's actually the alt tags is what it's doing, or building the alt tag. Installs. Yeah, just take the default step, because once it's installed, you can go into WordPress and change most anything that you've seen that you want to change. They pretty much, have it set to, the best security that they most recommend for everybody, just by taking the defaults. So, you can't go wrong with that. And like I said, it asks pretty much the same questions as Fantastico does, but it is a little different set of questions. I'll see if I can find a link to that, Deb, to send to you that talks about that. Mike's want to know which is more important, the alt or the description. The alt tags are more important than the actual caption. Doesn't hurt to have both, but the alt tags are more important. And the reason why the alt tags are more important is if somebody goes to your blog that has images disabled, it'll put up those words that you put in the alt tags in place of the picture. And search engines like that. Okay, well, do you guys have any other questions before we close it out for the night? If you have any questions, like I said, when the replay comes up, when I get the replay posted. Oh, did you guys get the email about the archive of the replays? I created an archive for you guys so you can go back through the replays. We've been doing these since March, that you can go back and see those now if there's one of them that you missed or one of them that you want to repeat. That was a request I got from a couple sessions ago about creating an archive, so I did that for you guys. But anyway, on the replay page, the question form will be on there if you want to submit a question for next week's webinar. And of course, you can email me. You can reply to any of my emails. It's always a real email that I use. And if you want to, you can contact me on Skype too. My contact ID there is RedHat39. So you can add me to your Skype contacts if you want to contact me during the week that way as well. But anyway, if there's no further questions, I guess we'll go ahead and close it out for tonight. I want to thank you guys for coming. I hope you enjoyed the training. Like I said, I'll get this all cleaned up and posted for a replay for you guys. And you guys are in the Inner Circle class. Well, I'll see you guys Wednesday night, and everybody else, I'll see you next Monday. Have a good evening, everybody, and thanks for coming.